Hi, I'm Charles Cadell and welcome to a K12Press tutorial over dynamic Google Charts, specifically embedding Google Charts that are fed from a Google form in order to put that on your website. This is a part 2 of a embedding Google Forms tutorial that we did. So what we're going to do now is show you how to embed some graphics and forms on the pages so that people can gather dynamic information as it's created. Now, let's take a look here at K12Press XYZ Academy again. And previously I showed you how to embed a Share Your Story form from Google Forms onto a web page. Now I'm going to show you how to embed some dynamic Google spreadsheets or Google Sheet charts. So we're going to actually go over into our form here, and you see where we have Share Your Story. Well, over in the responsive tab, you want to make sure that you've linked this to a Google Sheet. So you can automatically click a button and it'll create one for you, or you can predefine a Google Sheet and set that up. But if you look at this sheet here, I have a couple of things that I just filled out, some test ones. And we have, always in that first header, I kind of format that to make sure I'm showing the header things properly and format it correctly. But as new forms are filled out, it dynamically fills out this spreadsheet. Well, if you have that information dynamically shared with you, you should be able to go through and create a form or a chart for specific data points that are being saved by that form. So one of the things that I found would be beneficial is to be able to show in a time period, like say, how many or the percentage of what campus or department or school or department's being listed here. So that way when people come to the Share Your Story, if they see that there is a campus or something that is unrepresented in that time period, they may be more apt to fill out a story so that they can see that yes, we are also contributing. So in here I filled out 3, and in order to create a chart, all you're going to do is highlight the column because you want it to be the full column, so as dynamically generated form submissions are created here, it lists out and it'll automatically fill out that chart. And then you're going to go to insert and you're going to insert a chart. Now I've already created one, but you can see how you would do this is it automatically has your chart editor open up here, and you can select the type of chart. Well, I found for this type of information of being able to show a percentage or the amount of a certain certain category or something being filled out on the website, you can actually fill out this information correctly here. Now, if you don't have aggregate selected, it's going to say you have to select 2 columns. Well, all the information we're wanting to display is in this one column, so you're going to want to make sure you aggregate the information within just that one column. And that'll show you 33% of these are, 1/3 of them are XYZ Elementary, and then the other 2 are for XYZ Academy. Now here's an important tip. If you are actually creating dynamic information that will be posted on that website, I would make sure you select a column that has copy that's generated from a drop-down. You don't want to use columns that have free-form text fields where people can fill things out themselves, because if this is dynamically populating on your website and this is a public form, no doubt are you going to have some just fake or trash submissions that would list out certain things that you don't want to show up dynamically on here. So you would have something like this this thing here. If somebody were to type in for a department, it could be a misspelling, it could be just something completely obscene. But if you allow them to put that in, chances are you're going to see that display. So the best thing is make it to where they don't have a chance to enter in their own information. Make that a drop down. So that way they select one, and that's the information that's getting saved in this column here is something that's been selected from the form from a drop down. Now I've selected the form, and if you look down here in the form questions, you'll see that what I am talking about is the school or department you're sharing about, and I've got a drop down listed so they can select that. You'd have much more there if this was a fully complete form. But the information, you want to make sure that you change the title of what you want the title of that form to be. You make it look right. You also want to make sure that you have it at the approximate size that you're going to embed that on your page. So if you go and look at our Share Your Story page, you'll see this is about 270, 300 pixels wide, somewhere around in there. Well, you want to make sure that your chart that you're creating here is also that size. Now, I've gone through and I've customized colors to make it fit the brand a little better. I've made it to where it shows the labels inside there. Like if you want to be able to list out the slice, you can put the label there and it'll show, and you can change the color to make that fit your brand a little bit better. You can go to the pie slides and check the background color and say, hey, we want that to be a darker color, and then we want the elementary. Now, for any of these that are potentially filled out, you can go through and edit in real time the changes. Now, as you make changes on the website and you have this embedded already on your website, if you're changing it on the form or the chart itself, well, you could potentially make changes here and find that they don't necessarily show up immediately. It takes a few minutes for the Google chart and form to update. So the moment that you have that updated, it may not fully update instantly on the website. Even when they fill out this form itself, when they submit the form, they're not going to see their information instantly represented here in the chart. It takes a few minutes for Google to catch up with everything. However, you do want to make sure that you're matching, colors and things like that, and you can make changes live, and even as new information becomes available, you can select different pie slices that have been represented by submissions on the Google form, and you can change the color and stuff for that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this one. And that's because I want to show you the one that I've already created. Now, once you've created this form, you can drag it anywhere on the page, and it's not going to change what if you can publish it or not. You can just make it live wherever it needs to live. But in order to embed that chart, you're going to have to publish it. And that means it's going to be a live chart, that the information that you publish here and embed will actually be public on the website. That's why we've gone through the process of making sure that only data selected from drop downs are allowed, things like that. But what you would do is you'd click on here and you make sure that you're publishing the content, and then you go to the embed code, and it's going to fully select the width and the height that you created that chart on the site. And then you're going to just select that copy, and you're going to copy it, that code, and you're going to go over here, and you're going to go into your Enable Visual Builder, and you're going to create a new text block where you want that to show. So I click this and I'd say, hey, I'm going to grab a little text block. You could also use a code block, but in case you want to do a little bit more formatting, make sure it's a text block. Then you're going to make sure that the text, not the visual side, is selected, and you're just going to paste in that iframe. Now you have information that shows dynamically what's set there. And you can save, and we've got duplicates here because I did this earlier, so I'm going to delete that one. So you have this new one, you can save, and that's great. So one of the things I'm going to do now is I'm going to exit out and I'm going to submit another, and I'm going to show you how it dynamically updates on the web page there. So I'm just going to select Charles, K12Press, Charles, Cadell. I'm going to share an inspiration, person, or people. I'm going to select, let's select XYZ High School. Let's briefly describe, I am the best. There we go. If you had a web link, video, all that, you're going to select that, and then you're going to click Submit. Once that's submitted, you have that information. Now see how it doesn't automatically show on this site? Well, you can refresh the page, and it may show, it may not. Alright, you see that the information's been updated on here. We see that the chart's been updated. Coincidentally, you can also, inside these charts, you can edit different things like the chart style, the border color. Now, what I would suggest you do is make sure the border color is the same color as the background for your chart to make sure it matches. That makes sure that on this site, you don't have a little gray border around here that's inside this other border. If you want to add a border around that block, I would suggest add a border around the text block module. Don't bring in a border from Google Sheets. It creates a more seamless, better looking experience. But you see, it's updated now. And if we go and click save and we come out of there, and like I said, if you wanted to create a border, I would create the border here. You could quickly just add a little 2-column border around, a 2-pixel border, and give it a little space on the top. that is much better than using the border color from the Google chart itself. At any rate, I'm actually going to remove that border. I don't want it. Let's just go and remove this, giving it 0 pixels. Click Save and exit out. You can see once this information, we exit out of the Google Sheet, it's charging. Now, you see that the information there is a little bit smaller. You would want to make sure that you edit the responses to be able to show that label correctly. Since the labels and the information are a little bit long, you might go into Customize, into the pie chart itself, where it has label, and just change that font size a little bit. If you can change that font size to be something a little bit smaller, you might be able to see the information there, no matter the size of the pie slice. But as more slices get, you might have to tweak that. You may have to make it to where it shows outside of the thing as a label that floats out here with little arrows. You can do all that within the charts customization settings. But all that information, within Google Sheets, as you change it, it automatically saves here. It just takes it a few minutes to update over here on your website. This is a way to be able to give it a more dynamic feel, have a little bit more information on your website for these forms to be able to show. The possibilities are limitless. We'll go into even more tutorials that go into depth on creating full-on embeddable Google Sheets and dashboards of information with formed charts that are a lot more in depth. Coincidentally, if you want to go at the most simple way to do this and make it non-dynamic, you can actually just go to your Google form, and on the Google form itself, if you go to responses, you see you have some information. You can copy this directly from here. Now, it will not remain dynamic because all you're doing is copying an image of that, and you'd have to go paste it in your image editor, save it as an image, and then you could go and embed that. But periodically, you would have to update that image by copying, overwriting that image on your page and saving it there. But if you embed from the Google Sheets, from a chart you've created, and you embed that published chart, it will dynamically update for you within there. So I hope this helps. As always, if you're working on a campus or school website using WordPress, follow K12Press Solutions on YouTube. Visit us on K12.com. I think we'll be a wealth of information for you. Thank you and have a great day.